Jupiter starts his retrograde motion in the sign of Capricorn, where he'll continue to track back until he reaches his own sign of Sagittarius on June 30th, where he'll pick up his retrograde motion strong in his own sign until September 13th, where he's going to shake up our shared reality, shake up our laws and our governing system, and awaken the masses, where we'll question our ability to receive good information, where we'll question our own judgment. Now, this forecast and interpretation is according to the Vedic system of astrology, the yogic scientific system of astrology. And my name is Siri Prakash, and I welcome you to my YouTube channel, where I share with you the conscious energies of the planets that get awakened within each and every one of us as they unfold our tale of time and our experience on planet Earth. And in today's video, I want to share with you what Jupiter's interested in, what he will awaken, and what he's going to energize and what will energize him, as well as take a look at the two Nakshatras that he'll be operating under during his transit through Capricorn and Sagittarius, as well as some best practices that we can employ so that we can gain the most wisdom, the most knowledge, the most prosperity, the most advancement during his retrograde cycle during these very challenging times. Now, what is Jupiter? So Jupiter is our planet of expansion. So he becomes the champion of our growth, the champion of our prosperity, the champion of our philosophy. So he's the planet of our knowledge, our wisdom, our teachers. He's the planet of our children. He's the planet of our religion. He's a planet of our morality, and he's a planet of our ethics. And this is something we really have to keep in mind, because Jupiter being expansive, if he becomes very fixed, then he become very loud, very moralistic. He can become really fundamental, right? This is key to understanding this retrograde cycle of Jupiter as he goes through Capricorn and Sagittarius. And what is retrograde? So retrograde is just simply where the planet's energies are coming closer to the Earth, where they're really pushing their agenda, kind of getting in our face to pay attention to what's really critical right now. And as they retrograde, they go back to correct something, right? So this is really what they're bringing forth in their retrograde cycle. Now, planets take time to develop, so this is something for us to understand, because when we're traveling, it takes us a moment to arrive. So if we're arriving to a destination, it takes us a moment to really become present. It takes a moment for us to unpack our bags. And this is the same as planets as they transit either direct or in retrograde motion. They need time to really unpack their energies, to really unfold themselves. And this is key to understand. So when planets are transiting in retrograde, it's not immediate for most people. The people who feel it immediate generally have very similar degrees of the planets as they move over into this new sign, or when they retrograde, this can activate it. But for most of us, we feel it as it unfolds and within a week or two of its transit, where we see it really start to blossom and take effect. Because just as we need a moment to arrive as we travel, planets need moments to arrive as they travel. Now, the Vedic system of astrology is far more complex. It's not just simply about transit. So this is just a general forecast. As Jupiter's been transiting into the sign of Capricorn, his energies have been humbled. We've not been able to experience the expansive or positiveness of Jupiter as he's joined in with this very restrictive planet who's very powerful and very strong, dominating the energy of Jupiter. But as Saturn had turned retrograde just a few days prior, it became very rebellious. And this allows also Jupiter in its retrograde motion to actually become more strong and more empowered. So we'll see through the next days of Jupiter really coming through to help Saturn, in that Saturn and Jupiter are both authorities. So Jupiter's representing our law and Saturn's representing the public. So we'll see that Saturn is allowing Jupiter to expand with its energy as they're both kind of taking a position of looking at, okay, where are we heading with our laws and where are we benefiting for the people? These energies will be very strong and very loud throughout the summer, lasting until September. This is a critical moment for us to really understand what kind of information that we're receiving and how we're able to receive good counsel, because Saturn's agenda is influencing the retrograde cycle of Jupiter, where it's bringing forth what about the people? What about their rights? What are they gaining from this? Yeah. And as it moves through the end of June, we'll see a different flavor, and I'll make a separate video of really about Saturn's transit in June in the sign of his own strength, of his own house, and coming closer to Ketu. Now, with Saturn and Jupiter both being authorities, Saturn representing the people and Jupiter representing the law, it indicates a break. It indicates a period of time where we can see a lot more civil unrest, a lot more frustration coming from the common man, of where it's needing to adjust how, in fairness, that economic resources are actually reaching the common man. This is also seen through the retrograde of Venus, as Venus and Jupiter relate to our material wealth and our material prosperity. So we look at the combined energies of Saturn, the people, Jupiter, the law, and Jupiter and Venus both being indicators of our wealth. It indicates a lot of unrest and a lot of protests relating to our rights, relating to our economic situation, and how the common man is actually being taken care of during this period of crisis that we're all experiencing. So we need to take care, because Jupiter's retrograde is critical in this, is that it's our ability to actually listen to good advice. So we need to make sure that we take steps to really listen, hear, and assess the good advice that we could be receiving right now, and listening to what the information is that we're consuming, our knowledge and processing, right? So this is very key in this time of this transit. As I mentioned in 2019, 2020 is really a revolutionary year. It's one very much like the 60s. It's connected to our heart and it's connected to our stability. And so this shakeup is really part of this whole system. So we're going to see these energies of these three key planets that have retrograde within a week of each other start to unfold their energy. So by the third week of May, they will really become active. And then through June, be very loud in their demands, where they're returning to make corrections and where they're really pushing an agenda. So we have Saturn pushing the agenda of the people. We have Jupiter really pushing the agenda of the laws and how things are determined. And we have Venus, who's our politics and who's our media, and Jupiter and Venus together are the planets that really represent our material success and our prosperity. They're really pushing the agenda of bringing this forward. So this will be very resounding themes for us throughout the end of the year, but highlighted in the summer of how we're going to make course corrections. Now, the two nakshatras that Jupiter will transit through while it retrogrades through Capricorn and then into Sagittarius is a pair called the Ashadas. The first one is Purva Ashada and Uttara Ashada. So Purva and Uttara just mean 1 and 2, and then the Ashada is this unbreakable victory, right? So as it's going through Uttarashada, retrograding back, it's really assessing what we have actually gained through Jupiter's transit initially through Capricorn, to really release them, to go back, to go through Purva Ashada, to really break through any of these obstacles that we face, to really start to create a newfound prosperity, a newfound wisdom, newfound resources that are actually lasting and very revolutionary. These two nakshatras are ruled by a deity called the Apas, and the Apas is this goddess of water. It's the sister, the younger sister of Lakshmi. And if we think about the quality of water, water can actually break through anything. It can create any path to get to its goal, which is the ocean, its resource from where it takes its energy from and where it gets all of its wisdom, all of its nourishment from. And water can break down any stone. It can go through any crack. So this gives a lot of indication about the strength and the power of these two Ugra nakshatras, Purvashada and Uttarashada, right? It's ruled by Lord Ganesh, so there's a lot of luck and wisdom, not just through the sister of Lakshmi, but also the wealth that water brings to us, but this ability to break through and conquer anything. And then it goes back into Uttarashada with a more stronger capability to make a long-lasting success, because in the initial part where Jupiter went into Uttarashada Nakshatra, it was restricted by Saturn. So here's where it can come back in and just start to recreate a better foundation. Now, when a problem is created, the solution is created in the same moment. This is how nature works. And the year of 2020 has been significantly challenged, and we have to honor the families that have lost loved ones, those who have lost their lives, those who have lost their economic ability to support themselves, and those who are living really in a really extreme state of fear as all of their stability has been taken away from them. This is where our attention must go first. We must not act selfishly and independently. We must care for each other as one. As we're in this change of age, in the age of Aquarius, we're changing into a new decade, the 2020. We're in the year of the 4, the year of our stability and the year of our heart, where we're really needing to create new structures that really support everyone equally. And we're really needing to stay within our heart and not be triggered by fear, because when it's the 4, we have the chance of being destabilized, so we have to create new stability. And when we're in the year of the heart, we have this chance of really remaining in our heart frequency as our fear gets arisen in this time. So it's really this test of our endurance to really stay within the zone of, okay, through this challenge, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm going to work on my stability. I'm going to work on taking care of my neighbors and my community, and I'm working to help to build a community that really can sustain everyone. It's like, right, 2020 is like a year where if we look at a beautiful painting and we get up very close to it, it just looks like a bunch of dots, and it looks like things that you can't really understand. You can't quite make out what it is. But when you take back a few steps and you look at the picture from its entirety, you can see what's unfolding. And that's what this year of 2020 is really bringing to us, is that we have to really dial in for a moment on what's occurring with us in terms of our politics and our economics and our rights. But then we have to take back and look at the bigger picture of how we're making decisions collectively so that we support and take care of every human being, every creature on this planet, visible and invisible to us, because we often just get connected with ourselves and our own drama and our own issues, and we really get stuck in this pattern of me, I, me, I. But actually in this age of Aquarius, it's about this transformation into really taking care of a higher frequency in a collective consciousness. I thank you very much for joining me in my video today. Please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Satinam.